Hey guys, it's PMHK here, obviously, and Apple's WWDC 2019, which we're calling WWDC for some reason that I actually need to go and find out why, took place. The moment I'm recording this video, it's been almost a week now. This was actually one of my favorite WWDC events from Apple. I think from the past 3 years. It actually got me in the edge of my seat watching the keynote as they move along, announcing all that they announced in the keynote. And for some also odd reason, they actually moved along very fast. I actually like the pace of this keynote. It was really speedy. Now, they announced a lot of things in this keynote, including the Mac Pro, which actually, as I like saying, blew my mind. But that was actually one of the main center of this keynote that everybody is actually still talking about until today. Now, some of the things they announced on this keynote was obviously this was the keynote that they normally announce software stuff. So they announced the new iOS 13, which actually comes with the new dark mode. Now, Apple is the kind of company that likes holding off on features so that they can actually perfect them before they actually release to the public. And I feel like this was one of the features that Apple did, the same thing that they always do. Now, this feature has been on Android for, I think, the past 5 or if not more years, but they hold off on it. And what they actually displayed on the event, I really liked. And also, this dark mode itself comes with wallpapers that when you switch to them, the wallpapers automatically switch to the dark mode. Now, there were other features that they announced on this iOS 13, but that was the one that they actually spent more time explaining. Now, they also announced the new iPad OS. Now, the iPad's operating system used to be similar to the iOS, so they shared the same operating system, but now they are calling it iPad OS. And finally, you can have widgets on your main screen. Now, it's not as you will get it on Android phones again, but I think it's a start. Now, this iPad OS also will support the ability for you to plug in pen drives on your actual tablet, which previously really you couldn't do it unless you did it with Apple's proprietary card reader. But you could read cards, but not pen drive or memory sticks. But now you are actually able to do that. Something else they announced is Safari. Now, Safari, you have desktop type of navigation where you're going to be getting something similar that you would get if you're navigating on a desktop. Now, previously you would get something like the iPhone's navigation system, which was really limiting for a tablet, but now actually you can do more with that ability of having desktop type of navigation with Safari. Now also Safari allows you to download stuff straight. They've installed a download manager, or they've put a download manager under Safari where you download and you can actually open your download files straight from the Files application. Now, they also announced Mac OS Catalina, which I actually didn't really focus too much on it. And they also announced Watch OS 6. Now, you can obviously go and check these things out deeply or more in the actual keynote, which you can find on the Apple website, or if you even have an Apple TV, you can also go and rewatch it. And now, the Watch OS 6 also comes with new faces and other features that it has. But now, moving on to the actual one feature that I actually loved about this keynote was the Apple Pro display. Not the Apple Pro machine itself, which it's going to start on a price of $6,000. Now you're looking at around 80,000 here in South Africa, if not more after tax and what's or not. But one thing that stood out for me was that monitor, which is something that I might be getting in the not near future, but whenever I do have the money to get it, which currently is not the case, I would be getting it, because this is a reference monitor that they are going to be selling at the price, or at the peanut price, like somebody actually commented on my Instagram. I reposted something from Austin Evans that was explaining that because this Apple monitor that they announced does not come with the stand itself, most people are only focusing on that problem, that you're gonna have to pay a separate amount for the stand, you're gonna have to pay a separate amount for the monitor itself. But I feel like if Apple actually had to switch it up and only tell people of that later on, the focus was actually going to be more in the monitor. Now this monitor is going to be going for 5,000, and the stand itself is 1,000, and you have also the other bracket that goes to the back that's going to be around $200. Now that's a lot of money involved just for a monitor. Now $5,000, you're already looking at again 60,000 rands. But for the people that are actually going to be using this monitor to its maximum, that price would actually not be that much, because a monitor of the same caliber, a smaller size, this monitor that Apple's going to be selling their fall, which is our summer, it's going to actually rival with a lot of reference monitors that are out there, but on a smaller size, which are costing even more than the actual monitor itself. Now I know I'm focusing a lot on this monitor, but if you could actually go on the website itself and read what this monitor does and compare it to the reference monitors that are out there, that it actually will cost you around $23,000. This one is just $5,000, and it's a 32-inch monitor, which is actually something big and beautiful. And also it comes actually with the heatsink. The heatsink is actually all the back panel of this monitor, and you obviously have your Thunderbolt ports at the back for you to actually plug in extra devices. So this Mac Pro and this Pro Display XDR monitor is actually not for most of us. That it's not for most people like me who actually do YouTube or do this small production kind of job or services. This is actually for people that need the power that this thing is going to come with. These would be people that create movies and people that produce music and need the power and need the horsepower to actually have, like the example that they showed in the keynote, they would have multiple streams of 8K being edited under Final Cut, and it would still play smoothly while they would scroll it, and you could even add effects on top and it would not even start. And also for people that produce music, and you can have multiple line of music or orchestra like they actually showed or on the event itself. Now this thing will come in several options, and obviously this is a modular computer which you can actually spec up to what you actually desire. As I said, this is not going to be a computer or a desktop for most of us, because you're not even going to be able to take this computer itself to perform up to 20% of what it's actually capable of, because of the actual kind of work we do. And the Mac Pro will come in multiple configurations. They'll come in an 8-core, you'll have a 12-core, you have a 16-core, a 24-core, and a 28-core. Now the base model, which is the 8-core, is the one that you probably get it for $6,000, which I think you're still going to be able to upgrade it. Now the 8-core will come with the 3.5 gigahertz Intel Xeon W. You'll have 8 cores obviously, and you have 16 threads, and you can turbocharge it up to 4 gigahertz, and it comes with a 24.5 megabytes cache, and it supports a 2.666 megahertz memory. Now this guy is the baseline of the Mac Pro, and it's going to be around $6,000. Now including the monitor, which is also around $6,000, you're already looking at $12,000. And if you have to convert that into rands and add tags, take one up, one down, you're looking at around 250,000 rands for a computer. Let's just make it 300,000 rand for a computer. Obviously, this is not for most of us. This is for the people that can actually afford buying the red cameras and shoot at 8K and need to edit at 8K. But even those people, unless they're editing multiple streams of 8K, they will not need a computer as powerful as this one. Now this is gonna be it for this video. I really hope I wasn't mumbling throughout the video itself. Let me know what you guys think of what Apple actually announced on the keynote that just happened. If you didn't watch it, make sure you go watch it so you can actually be on the same level as us that have actually watched and know exactly what's going on. Make sure you leave your comments down in the comments below, and if you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you go and you subscribe to the channel. And if you like this video, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, and I will catch you guys on my next video. Peace.